My name is Derek, and I wanted to start by telling you a little bit how I kind of found my way back to fitness as a way of really optimizing and balancing both my physical and really my mental health. So back in high school, I was a competitive basketball and volleyball player and really a high achiever. And along with that, I really experienced a lot of anxiety around underperforming, not fitting in, and generally just being unsuccessful. However, it wasn't until university when I was studying psychology that I actually started to recognize signs and symptoms of depression. I was fortunate in this case to have a knowledge of the different treatments option available, and I chose to start an antidepressant regimen. Within a short amount of time, I actually worked my way all the way up to a very high dosage of that antidepressant medication for over a year that I was on that. And that led all the way up to major periods of apathy, frequent instances of dissociation, fugue, as well as my emotions being all but completely flattened out. This, along with experiencing severe withdrawal symptoms, even if I missed just one day, led me to come to the conclusion that that medication was not really for me, and I slowly weaned myself off, which was also a very big and arduous challenge. From there, long story short, I kind of found my way back into fitness from all but cutting it out through my university career. This allowed me to really regain the joy that comes from moving my body, both athletically and often as well. I really found this to really help me take control of my own fitness, and it really led me to kind of lead people on that same journey as well. So for today, what I want to take you through some light movement exercises that we can scale all the way up into some bit of a fitness challenge and some workouts. So the first thing is, I know that you might have been on this computer for a little while, and I always want to check in to make sure that everyone is keeping your body safe. So if you ever see something that I'm doing on the screen and you already know that's not right for your body, please don't do that, but you can hopefully use an earlier progression that I've used earlier on, or think about something that's just going to work for your body. So we always want to make sure that working out is hard, but it's never to the point of hurting or feeling pain. And I want to start things off by giving those eyes a bit of a break. So just where you are right now, I just want you to shut your eyes and close your eyes a bit tight. Let those eye muscles relax, and then just relax and open again. Let's do that a couple times. Close those eyes tight and maybe look around, up, down, left, right, before you open again. Let's do that one more time, squeezing those eyes shut and then coming all the way back open. And now that we've relaxed those eyes, let's take a check-in on those breathing. I wanted you to put one hand onto your chest and one hand onto your belly. This is an exercise that I do a lot of time to help recenter the body. I want you to take a breath in, but only allow your bottom hand to move. Take that deep breath, try and inflate your belly like a balloon, and then let that breath go again. You want to try and have that top hand not move at all. So again, deep inhale, like you're kind of pulling air in through a straw through your nose. Allow that belly to inflate, and then allow it to just deflate. Maybe open your mouth and let that happen. One more time so you can feel your belly move and get those diaphragmatic muscles engaged, and then let that go. And now I want you to feel the contrast. So let's take a big breath from your chest. Lift all the way up, and then let that go. One more time, and as you lift up, pause, feel that big stretch into your chest, all the way into your ribs, and then let that go again. And now here's the challenge. Let's see if you can take an even bigger breath using both of those concepts. So relax those shoulders, take a deep inhale through your belly, and then continue to inhale all the way up into your chest before you let all of that air go again. So one more big time, big belly breath. Pause so you can inflate your rib cage, lift all the way up into your chest, maybe sitting that little bit straighter, and then let everything go. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more of a sense of relaxed. And now let's get into some stretches. So the first thing that I want to do is a little bit of some seated stretches. So when we're sitting down, that blood gets pushed out of our glutes. So whether you're sitting in a chair or maybe on the floor where you're watching this, let's see if you can cross one leg all the way over and just lean forwards, back and forth. We just want to pulse into that big seated glute stretch. And if you're having trouble with this, remember your leg doesn't have to be down as low as mine. You can always use the angle or stretch your other leg out to where you can feel that it's a comfortable stretch. because stretching should hopefully be comfortable and never really feeling like it's straining or hurting. Once you've done on one side, let's do the same thing on the other side as well. So tip forwards, feel for that stretch a couple of times, and then from there, we're going to do the same thing, but more through the insides of your legs. So you're going to take a wide stance, as straight as your legs are able to go, and just start by tipping forwards. You should feel a big stretch into your groin, into those hamstrings. And again, work with where your body is. You may need to bend your knees a little bit. Your feet might need to be still flat on the ground, and as you tip forwards, you can still search for that stretch. After you've done it a couple of times, let's turn that into a big circle. So lean down towards one side. If you can, walk your fingers along the ground all the way over the other side and right back up. Once we do 3 big circles in one direction, it only makes sense to balance things out, and we can kind of stop and switch going around to the other side as well. Excellent. All right, and from here, let's get those muscles a little bit more moving. So I want to challenge your quads, your hips, and maybe a little bit of those glutes. You might need to hold on to your chair for this one. I want you to stretch your leg up, bring it all the way out to the side, and then setting it back down. If you feel that cramp in your hip, obviously that's a sign to stop, but otherwise, lift that all the way back in. You can feel those quads working to lift your leg and those hips as you move all the way out to the side. Once we've done a couple on one side, let's switch and do a couple on that other side. You might be getting a little bit warmer by now, so hopefully you have some water ready, or maybe you can go grab some water after this. Now from here, now we've gone through a little bit of those exercises, it's time to stand up. Now, if I stand up, I'm going to go off camera, so I'm going to kneel down, but I do want you to get up and out of your chairs. So while you're standing, the next thing I want to do is get that circulation pumping. Start to just bounce, jump around, let your body shake. Doesn't matter who's watching, feel the energy kind of come back to your body as you're shaking around. And from here, next up, let's get into a bit of those standing stretches. So we've started off by stretching out your lower body, and now it's time to stretch out your upper body. Again, you can be standing, you can stay in your chair if that works for you. I want you to have both hands out in front, and let's reach one as far back as you can. Get that big stretch to your chest. Start to feel that as your arm goes out wide, it's not just to stretch your chest, but pull your arm back to feel those posture muscles waking back up from sitting in front of that screen. Once we go a couple of times doing one arm at a time, I want you to open out nice and wide, maybe rotate and lift up towards the sky and coming all the way back around, and then just give yourself that big hug. Wrap your arms around, drop your elbows to feel that stretch, and let's do that 2 more times. Opening out wide, wrapping around, and dropping those elbows down. One more time, big open, give yourself that big hug, give yourself a pat on the back for being here for today, and let's move into our next exercise. The next one, again, I want to stretch the chest, and I want to move and activate those muscles in your back, and I call this an angel. You're going to open up your palms, press them back behind the level of your body, and then trace all the way up so that your thumbs touch, maybe they don't touch, above your head. Try and feel that you're stretching out from those fingertips the whole time. And if I turn sideways, you can see that it's not just in line with my body, but try to reach back a little bit. So you can feel those shoulder blades lifting all the way up and pressing all the way back down. So from there, let's shake things out. The last one that I want to work on for that upper body is getting into a little bit more of that support through your shoulders. And this can work its way all the way up into a bit of an inverted or pike position. So if you're standing, I'm going to come off camera for a sec. You're just going to tip forwards and walk your hands out until you're in that push-up position. From here, you can either walk your hands back in so that my head is pointed down towards the ground and I'm pressing into my shoulders, or you can walk your toes in. Once you get those toes all the way in, feel for that stretching your hamstrings, press your hands into the floor to feel that you're getting that blood going in a different direction than it usually goes when you're standing all the way up. Now, here's where the challenge comes in. You can always add in extra things, like a push-up when you get down there, or a push-up from your knees if you're not able to do it all the way from your toes. And if you have that rolling office chair, well, maybe instead of putting your feet on the ground, you're going to put your feet up onto the chair instead. Remember, always be safe. I can now walk my hands towards my chair if my chair doesn't roll,
or I can try and pull my toes towards my hands if my chair does happen to roll back and forth. So from here, we're going to come back down. The last thing that I want to end off with for a little bit is just getting a little bit more of that blood flow and circulation to those hips and glutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off again standing. I want you to keep your feet together as you squat down, and then you're going to slowly bounce your way out to the side as wide as you can in one side, and then work your way all the way back in. From there, we're going to go all the way out to the other side. Use that little bit of a pulse to light that little bit of a fire on those legs before you're sitting back down. And then from there, I think we have time to do one more side. One more time on each side. And hopefully once you've done that a couple of times, that gives you that little bit of fire. Again, you're going to stand up. I'm going to kneel down, but just shake out your bodies. Rock out those shoulders. Have a couple of deep breaths. And I want you to relax and enjoy the rest of your day.